Krishna everyone. So we are going to have a small discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Just one philosophical discussion open for an hour, and then we'll have a mantra meditation for 2 hours. So it's like we openly take some couple of verses and then we share our understanding so that we can better understand life and its challenges. So that's why we have it on every Friday from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 9 we continue with our mantra meditation. So we'll have a small Kirtan for 5 minutes and then we'll start with our Bhagavad Gita session.
Not sitting there.
For discussion we usually sit down. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridhari Yashoda Nandana So time we took till Bhagavad Gita 10 chapter 13th verse. So we'll continue from there. So everybody can take Bhagavad Gita. Even we have it on Vedamis also online, so we can share it from there as well. So we'll start from 10 from 14. Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Varamayam Vadati Javalantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhaktananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So, what does the 14th verse say? So 14th verse says, let's read the verse and then from the verse we will just read the purport and then we'll start with our discussion. So it is chapter number 10 verse number 14. So it's 561 for me. It will be up and down the same place.
Sorry, chapter number?
Chapter 10 verse number 14. Approx 560 page you might find, page number 560.
Verse number what?
No, verse number 14. 10.14.
10.14. It's classified a bit differently here.
Yeah, it's a little bigger with that.
What can you start the verse like?
Sarvam Etad.
Sarva Bhagwan.
No, it's chapter 10, that one?
Yeah, chapter 10.
Yeah, 14th verse. Yeah,
Check.
perfect.
You will find it in my
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. 466.
Perfect, thank you. So, today we will discuss from verse by verse. So, what does 14th verse say? Let's see. So, we'll read the text and then the translation and the purport and then we'll discuss further. Sarvam etadritam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahi the bhagavan vyaktim vidur devana dhanava. So, Krishna here is explaining the opulence which he is seeing in himself. O Krishna, the translation says, O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality and purport. Arjuna here confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods. So what to speak of the so-called scholars of this modern world. By the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita as described in the 4th chapter. The parampara system of disciplic succession from the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost. And therefore, Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in the parampara system. When the parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to regenerate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only we can understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So one thing interesting which I felt like you and everybody can share whatever we feel relevant and our own experiences. So like based on this, what I understand or what I have realized by learning from different sources is like we all learned mathematics, we all learned science. So where did we learn all our subjects and all the knowledge?
By books or professors or lecturers.
Yeah, from books, from professors, from teachers, and including me. Did we ever question 2 plus 2 equal to 4? We are taught that 2 plus 2 is 4. Have you ever questioned it?
No.
No, neither me. So it's like whatever we have learned, we have accepted some form of professor or teacher. And for example, if nowadays there is problem with the airplanes, of course, due to war. But even we are paying, for example, 50 euros or 100, 500 euros in advance for a plane which will fly maybe 2 or 3 months later. But still we trust and give money to them. So we trust our parents, we trust our teachers, we trust doctors, we trust the airlines. It's not wrong, of course. Why do we trust?
Exchange.
Yeah, there is an exchange, of course, but they can cheat as well, which they don't, of course. But there is a possibility that someone might cheat, but still we accept that.
Reputation.
Habit.
Sorry,
Conditioning habit.
conditioning habit.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Like I have seen that these people are kind of like an authority. Teacher is an authority that we accept them, that okay, whatever teacher says will be fine because the school principals would have appointed them because they are of good reputation, as you said, good reputation, good habits. So that's why they will be doing only the right thing. But we accept them because the school management are looking after everybody and they ensure that good teachers are there. In the same way, we have plane authority. Although the pilot may or may not be there, he might fall sick, but the authority, the airplane company, either will give us a flight or send us a flight, or they will give us the money back. Something will happen. So in the same way, what I realized is that when we accept the proper authority, that okay, the school is bona fide, the school is good. Like often when we go to colleges or schools, we often check, right, that is this college good, is the syllabus good. We check some things. So if we check something, whether that quality is good, then obviously what we are going to check whether the authority is good. So based on that, when we accept things, I understood that things usually go good. Like if the school is good, then the teachers will be good. Or if the airlines is good, okay, these airlines are good, their quality is good, so I will book through them. We have our own preferences that this airline I will book because their quality is good, service quality is good. So in this way, when we accept authority, I have seen that things go very good. So in the same way, here I see from this verse that it tells that we need to accept the authority of Bhagavad Gita because we can. It's a long discussion I had before, that how the Vedic knowledge in fact gives us clarity in whatever it says. Like, you have any realizations on authority or something, or anything, whatever that strikes you by the verse?
Yeah, I think doctor is an authority. We trust them with our physical thing, and it has worked so far.
Yes.
That's what comes to my mind.
Yeah, but just think, we have Udemy courses.
Yeah.
And if someone says that I have done a Udemy course on doing surgery, will we accept him? Of course not. Why? Because although he knows all the syllabus, but still we don't trust him because he is not tried and tested.
Yeah.
By colleges and under a doctor, we work as a junior doctor or whatever. So until unless such a thing happen, we are not confident that this person can do the right thing. So in the same way, when we follow a certain process, then what happens? Okay, we go to school, we go to primary, then we go to secondary, then we give exams, and then we select a subject, and then we pass. So when we follow this process, then it becomes clear that this person is, aware of whatever he has learned. For example, if he has learned science, so we are sure that okay, this person knows science very well. And in the same way, when we follow the same proper route, like and if you don't follow the proper route, there is a possibility you might get cheated. So if this is the case for day-to-day life, the same thing applies spiritually also. That we might go to someone and we can ask something. But if that person is not bona fide, the chances is that he might cheat us, he might take our money away, or he might exploit us or something. So when we follow the proper authority, whether that spiritual process is bona fide, then what happens? We are sure that we won't be cheated and we will actually get real spiritual knowledge. So this is what I have seen.
Basically buying branded things, assurance of quality.
Yeah. For assurance of quality, exactly. Because if quality is not good, then time is wasted, effort is wasted, mainly trust is wasted. Then trusting again becomes difficult, I say. So what we call as trust issues. It happens, it's true. So it's better that instead of getting exploited. Of course, we are innocent. We didn't do wantonly. But what happens? We do something and they exploit us. Then we feel betrayed, and then following that process becomes difficult. So that's why I feel it's very useful when we try and test it. That okay, what they say, is it right or wrong? For example, how to say? Like we check the brand, right? For example, we go and check in Skyscanner. Probably we all would have used Skyscanner. So we go into Skyscanner, we check the prices of the different planes. Then we have gone in different planes. We have the price values. We have the our own experience. Based on that, we know that these companies are actually good. So in the same way, in spiritual process, when we don't believe anything blindly, that's why spirituality is not blind. But when we ask questions that what is this process, why we do, out of curiosity, why we do, why should we follow it, what is the relevance, and when you are able to make sense out of it, because spirituality is science, it's spiritual science. It's not that you have to follow something ritualistically or sentimentally, because spirituality is ultimately meant to transform us, all of us. So that's why spirituality is there. So if something has to transform us, then it has to have some meaning. Okay, I'm doing something. Why we do what we do? Until unless we know why we are doing something, we won't know its value. That becomes sentimental, and we never know. If we don't know why we are doing, that person might exploit us. That is every sense. So if we ask questions of okay, it sounds good. Why we do this? Out of curiosity, in a good way. Why we do this? What is the purpose? And in that way, when we understand what we are doing and then we do it, then what happens? We also feel confident, and when we are doing the right thing, the process works. Like if you are taking some medicine, if the medicine is right, I don't know here, I never got sick here, but in India, for example, if we take paracetamol, paracetamol is everywhere. So if we take paracetamol for our fever, then whether we know the medicine or whether we trust it, automatically the medicine will work. So in the same way, if we follow the right process, automatically its effect will be there, and we'll be able to then have faith in the process. So that's what I'm able to understand the importance of authority. So that's what here it is given as parampara system. That's what made me click it. That in spirituality, we will speak about it in the upcoming verses. So in spirituality, there is a thing known as parampara system. Just like we have, how to say that? Like we have CEOs, then under him we have project manager, director, then manager, team leader. So we have a hierarchy. So in the same way, in the spiritual life also, there is a specific hierarchy. And why is this hierarchy there? Because, for example, a teacher who is 10 years experienced, he will be able to give proper knowledge to assistant professors, and those assistant professors can give proper knowledge to the students in their class, bright students in their class. And those bright students, in my time there used to be some students known as monitors. So those monitors would be elected, and they will check the homework, etc., and they will guide the students in this class. So in this way the system is there, so that what will happen, the proper knowledge will be transmitted from the professor to teacher, from teacher to student, and student to everybody else. So in the spiritual life also we have this hierarchy, so that proper knowledge comes, and when proper knowledge comes, then we will know what we are doing, why we are doing, etc., we won't get distracted, and in this way nobody will be able to exploit us, or we will not get distracted from our path. So that is why parampara system is given here. So that helps us to stay on the right path, and at the same time what happens? We will be able to feel the transformation coming in our life, which is the purpose of spiritual life. Any other points anybody would like to share?
I have a question.
Yeah?
Given what you just outlined about hierarchy, is there room within that hierarchy for revelation to the student,
Mm-hmm.
or is the student only able to accept as valid that which is received through the hierarchy?
Yeah, so when we say revelation, well, for example, a teacher teaches him, for example, maths, whatever, maths, science, so whenever they teach him that 2 plus 2 equal to 4, so when he understands this art or the science of mathematics, and then based on that, when he says that, okay, that means 5 plus 5 equal to 10, is it right? So there is room for his own revelation, but that should be in line with what he has learned from the hierarchy. So he has his own independence, but he needs to understand the science, and he needs to, just like jigsaw puzzle. So you understand the process, you have your own intelligence, and you can do as per your nature, but you also ensure that, is it right? So in the same way, we ask the same thing to our spiritual guides, what I am doing, is it right? But before depending upon them, as I said, we have the right to ask the question that what this person is saying, why is he saying, does it make sense, what is the purpose behind it, so that we develop the faith and conviction that what we are following is actually genuine. And then we can understand the art, try to have our own realizations, but again consult with them so that we are in line and not get distracted.
Understand. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Anybody else has any doubts, questions, comments? Yeah, if not, we can take the next verse. So we keep continuing, we can discuss, we can ask questions or something. So next verse, we go to verse number 15. Seems interesting. Swayam evatmatmanam veta tvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. Translation. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic person. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11, Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam avyayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the supreme personality of Godhead. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the supreme personality of Godhead. A common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality. Such men therefore may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan or they accept his authority. Yet, many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna is the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed here as Deva Deva, the worshipful demigod of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful God of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by a realization of Arjuna. And we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. So we can understand here that realization, there is room for realization. We can understand what's given here, what we need to follow. But the main thing is, as it is given here, that Bhagavad Gita is a statement, as I read it in the purport, that it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from any atheistic person or any person. So, for as I said, if someone is trained in something, and if you are going to learn from that person, for example, if someone is learned from the college and he is certified, from that person if we learn, then it makes sense, because that person knows he is tried and tested. But if someone doesn't know about some spiritual science and he comes and says something, then what happens? We might be faithful to follow a spiritual process. But if that person comments on something and if we follow it, then of course, first of all, that person is not aware. And if we are going to follow what that person says, we will also get deviated and distracted by his own words. This applies to everything. Let it be in our day-to-day life, let it be in spiritual life. In every case, we need to have faith in something. Because we have faith in our father, we have faith in our mother, we have faith in our teacher, doctors, then we have faith in our lowest driver. We don't ask him for the license, he has it. Because we trust that the Transport Authority of Ireland will check it. And even we have trust in many things. So in the same way, trust needs to be there in spiritual life, but it should be based on authority. Until unless there is some authority, then what happens? There is every chance that we might be deviated or we might get exploited. So that's why we need to understand the knowledge from the right source, or what we call as bona fide source. So till the things are bona fide, till we get the knowledge from the right source, till then there is no problem. Otherwise what happens? Then we fall under risk. Then what happens? Then they exploit us. Then of course we'll feel betrayed, and then following this process by trusting someone else becomes difficult. So it becomes difficult for us. It becomes hampering for us. So that's why it's always recommended that question early on and try to understand what is being told rather than being exploited from someone else. So any comments on this? Good.
Is there assumption that the person in authority
Mm-hmm.
will not exploit, because quite often somebody in authority can also exploit?
Good point. So there are two things, like, and that's perfectly true, because sometimes happens that someone is in authority, let it be in any organization. It happens that sometimes they may be in a position of authority, but they might exploit. So rather than seeing the post as an authority, we need to see the character as an authority. That's what our scriptural literature says. Because post can be gained by influence or by recommendation. It happens. And they also have the checks, that is this person capable, proficient, they do. But that is external. I might be good in speaking, like this, I might be good in speaking, I might be good in management, and based on that they might give me a post that you seem efficient and potential. So we give you a post so that you will be able to handle this better. But my character needs to be tried and tested with time. And then and only then faith and trust will come. So that's why we might hear what a person says, but in order to put faith, we need to always, I heard it from one of my friends, to know someone, whether to trust him or not, watch his behavior before camera or before people, and watch his behavior at the back. Means when not many people are seeing in private life and all. So when you see that this person is acting same in public and in not private, means literally private, but behind the scenes, that shows integrity, that shows character. And where integrity and character is there you will realize that there is no hidden motive or hidden intention. And that is where you can actually put faith on someone. So this is important, because, and this really happens, because We can trust anyone because, again, as you said, because authority. Okay, this authority, this management board assigned this person in this post, so probably this person will be good. So this we can apply it in spiritual life and in our day-to-day life also. Okay, this person is an authority, so I need to respect him. Fine, respecting is no problem. We need to respect everybody, but to have put faith and follow him, we can use our discernment and see his character. Ask him what he's saying. Okay, you do ABC. Okay, why? In a good way we can ask. Okay, why we need to do ABC and what is the purpose behind it? So when we understand what is his instructions, what is his beliefs, and we see his behavior, through that we can understand that okay, is this person really trustworthy that I can completely put my faith into? So that makes, we cannot say 100%, but majority of the times or most of the times we can see that if there is integrity, there won't be any exploitation. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, what you said is like no blind following.
Yes. Yeah. Because blind following, has been there because we wanted to, show our how to say that we feel that if we question, then that will be wrong. Sometimes we had this feeling. But if we see in our scriptures, like in 4th chapter it comes, 4th chapter 34th verse, it says, go and inquire submissively to a person who knows the truth. So it has been told that we have the right to question. So when we question, then automatically what happens? We understand that person's frame of mind. And when we understand that person's frame of mind, we understand, first of all, the person says something. Okay, fine. Second, okay, that person has said this thing, why this person has said. So we understand his frame of mind. And then we watch his behavior. So when we do all these three things, then we understand him in and out. And it's being told that if you want to accept any spiritual authority, that okay, this spiritual authority, I accept him, whatever instruction he says, I will follow. But so it is being told in our Vedic scriptures that at least for 1 year, you need to be with them. Of course, in today's time, it's not that much easy. But at least 1 year, you need to associate with them and watch them closely. You need to watch them closely, their behavior, their actions, their character, and they will watch you as well. So until unless we have a relationship in the sense where you both know each other very well, till then if you put faith, then what happens? As usual, then when they do questionable things, not even to us, in general to someone else, then our faith gets shattered. So this is one of the most helpful instructions which we can see in today's time.
Is that the practice of discernment? Would you describe that as the practice of discernment?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it comes as Tadvidi Pranipatina. So we first of all have a submissive mindset. Submissive, when I say submissive, that means what? We are not having a challenging mindset that no, I'm not going to accept anything. Okay, I will accept. Be open, means have an open mindset where we don't have a challenging mindset. Second thing is inquire whatever they say, and then render some service. Service in the sense, okay, whatever we helping each other and whatever. So it's a whole deeper science, but submissive inquiry and service, and then we follow. And when we follow this proper process, then what happens? There is clarity, and then there will be faith. So that there is no blind following. Again, we coming to the same square point. Okay. If there is no doubt, then we can continue to the next verse, and probably we end it in this verse today. 16th verse. Vaktum harasya aseshena divya yatmana vibhutaya yaber vibhuti vir lokan imamstum vapyatisthasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Purport. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have. And through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt. Yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. So here we are getting to know a little bit about divinity. You might say divinity, there are different words. There are divinity, we say super consciousness, and some say, they have many names. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktis, we say, which means God has many names. But ultimately, the name which we call, which suits him the best, is what we call as Krishna. Because Krishna means God is known by his own activities. And Krishna, when we say, that means what? All attractive. So when we say someone is divine, that means what? He will have many opulences and characteristics which will make him attractive. For example, God is being told that he has 6 opulences. God has, first of all, he has wisdom. A person who is very learned automatically becomes attractive for us. Some people will find him attractive. Oh, this person knows very much. So whenever that person speaks, we feel like hearing him. Then strength. When someone has strength, then we are like, for example, soldiers we have who use it in the right causes, and some people. So when someone has strength which he uses for the right means, we feel attractive. He becomes attractive. We are inspired by him. Then the third thing is strength, then wealth. Of course, in today's time we see that wealth is important. It's not all in all, but someone who has wealth, some people find him attractive. Then someone has fame. Fame automatically makes one attractive because if someone is very much famous, then that person becomes attractive. Then renunciation. So when someone is very detached, then that person also becomes, oh, how this person is so detached, while doing his duties. So there are certain qualities which makes a person attractive, and God has all those qualities, due to which he becomes the most attractive. And we call him super consciousness, we call him divine, and we have various names. Why? Because as we say, God created man from his own image. So as we say, each and every person, let it be human beings, let it be animals, let it be plants, everybody are part and parcel of the Supreme. That is why this world is there. There are so many living entities. There should be one Supreme living entity. That's why we call him Supreme, right? So Supreme means he should be the source of all living entities. It becomes obvious. So that's why we say respect everybody. Some people say do not harm the animals. We have this vegan movement. So we want that all the animals should be valued. Their life should be valued. We want to avoid deforestation. We want to value plant life. We don't want fishes to be exploited by oil spills and overbreeding and exploitation. So we value life of aquatics. We value life of plants. We value life of animals, and we also value life of humans. We don't have racism. We don't want to have immigration issues and all and all. So we want to value each and every living entity. So at the end, if we see, every living entity is actually part and parcel of divine divinity, God, Krishna, and anyone. So when we say that, why? Because Supreme Lord or Father is one, and from him, because all the living entities, the soul come. That's why it is told in our scriptures that Vasudeva Kudumbakam means what? This whole world is a family. Let it be animals, let it be plants, let it be humans, let it be anything. Because everybody is a family, automatically we will want that we respect everybody and not try to exploit. And when we follow this mindset, I won't go too deep because there are many verses where we will discuss it deeply, but when we have this mindset that everybody is my family, then what happens? Automatically we won't want to exploit or hurt anyone. Well, if for example, in our family, our younger brother is doing something wrong, obviously we'll correct him. So in the same way, we might try to do things for their betterment, but at the same time, we won't try to exploit anyone. So when we have this mindset of everybody is our family, everybody, all living entities needs to be respected and valued, then automatically peace will come. But for this, we need to have a relationship. As I said, everybody is my family. So if everybody is my family, then we need a relationship which is what we call it as Supreme Father. So when we include God, that's a whole deeper science which we'll explore in Bhagavad Gita, and we have many shastras. So through that, when we accept a proper authority, as I said, not blindly, but by understanding the science, then what happens? We are able to see each and everybody as a part of a family, as someone who is valued. And when we see them of some value, that is what we call it as in EU. I went recently in EU sustainable goals and unity peace, something that was like that. So they told that there needs to be equality, there needs to be fraternity. So these values were there. So we are aspiring for these values, but that values becomes natural when we include someone as our Supreme Father. Of course, we'll discuss this deeply, but this concept helps us when we accept a supreme authority, and we are able to see each and every living entity as our part and parcel of family. That makes our perspective better. I think anybody has any points or doubts about this?
Does that also mean not valuing them blindly?
Yeah, good question.
Not valuing them blindly,
Mhm.
but practicing discernment
Mm.
also, even though, so it's not valuing them as family innately,
Mm.
but actually, so are we valuing them innately because they are part of family, part of the one?
Yes.
Or only,
Sentimental.
exactly, or for the role that they offer, or sometimes people, are valued for the role that they play in other people's lives, and if you take away the role, you wonder, would they be cared for, would they be loved if the role suddenly stopped?
Correct.
So that's my question. What was the beginning of my question? The question was not blind following.
Yeah.
So when that comes to family, what do you have to say about that?
And so can I offer a related question so that you can, it's sort of the inverse of what she is asking. My question is, there's a pain that comes from separation from family, and sometimes the behaviors of people, when you're using discernment, creates a separation. How do we overcome that and connect with people in softness, regardless of how they are presenting? How do we preserve the love and familial feelings when the actions seem out of alignment with respect and love for us?
Correct. Thank you so much. So sometimes it might be that we see them as family, but we see that they don't see us like that, and they might behave in very questionable ways. Then it kind of becomes sentimental that I am not able to see them as a family, but I'm just telling that we are one family. Then what to do? So the main thing is, this also comes in Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, that equal vision does not mean equal treatment. We might see everybody as a one family. As I said, if we want to see everybody as one family, there should be some. So there should be some. As I said, if there is a relationship of son and daughter, that means there is a father and a mother. So first of all, we ourselves at least needs to see the supreme connection with our God. We can say God, we can say divinity, we can say Krishna. So first of all, we need to understand, not that we need to become so much transcendentally above or something, but first of all, we need to understand the spiritual science of who I am. We discussed this in the 2nd chapter. Like, first of all, when we understand who I am, okay, I am in this body. I was a small baby. Then suddenly I grew up into a girl. Now I'm a young adult now. If, for example, if you didn't meet your auntie or some relative for a long time, and suddenly you meet them, what they will say, oh, you grew up so much, I didn't knew it. But actually, there is no difference. I am the same person I saw you 10 years before. So for them, we grew out something different, which is beyond their expectation. So the body has grown, but the person is still the same. I enjoyed your ice cream 10 years ago, and after 10 years, I am the same person who is coming to you, not obviously for ice cream, but to meet you as well. But the person is same, but the body has grown. So I am not simply this body, I am beyond this body. So, and if I am beyond this body, then where do I come from? Whom do I belong to then? If I am not this body, if I am a soul, where do I come from? Whom do I belong to? That question eventually will take us to understand that there is, if I am spirit, then there should be some supreme spirit. Just like a child. If there is a child comes from a father. And in the same way, if I am a spirit, then the spirit comes from a supreme spirit. It's a whole science. It's not that, again, as I said, no need to accept it as blindly. We have a whole Bhagavad Gita, we have Bhagavatam, we discussed that deeply. So, if I am spirit and I come from a supreme spirit, then automatically the same applies to each and every other person. So, through this, a relationship of father and children and my brothers and sisters happen. So, this is how we can, first of all, ourselves have a vision of seeing them as our own family. This helps us to have an equal vision that, okay, I am a part of God's family and they are also part of God's family. But at the same time, as I said, equal vision can be there, but we can't have equal treatment. Because sometimes people, as I said, might behave in questionable ways. So, when people act in questionable ways, it is important that we know how to behave with them. It's like, how to say. For example, if the best way to show love to someone who is, very erratic, is best to stay at a certain distance and pray for them. And if someone is suffering, the best thing, or he's hungry, then what we can do? We can offer him some sacred food or something. And if someone is in good talking terms, then we can, we can go a long way, we can have a relationship with them, etc. So, although that person is currently not at that stage, why? Because he is not able to see the one family relationship, leave about one family relationship. He is not able to have normal relationship with people. Leave about the seeing God as their father. He is not able to have good relationship with people who he is around with. So obviously, if you go near them, unknowingly they will harm you, and obviously we will feel disheartened. So the best thing that we can do is pray for them from a distance. That okay, he is also part of my family, so let him also be good. And if, for example, if he is going to do something questionable, for example, if there is a child in our own family and if he is too much naughty, then what we will do? We will admit him in a boarding school. That at least those, we have boarding school here, I don't know. Yeah. So if we'll admit him in the boarding school, so that there they will train him to become a better person. So in the same way, why? It's not that I don't love you, but I have more concern for your well-being. That's why I'm doing this to you, so that in this temporary pain, so-called pain, we'll also feel bad that, oh, that boy, he will be scolded for getting up early, he will be scolded for not doing, exams and whatnot. We will be very kind to him, but he is so naughty that he needs a boarding school so that he will be mended properly. And at the end, when he grows up, he will also understand, oh, even I had my own twin friends in my school. They felt that, oh, initially I thought that my parents have sent me to this boarding school, maybe they don't love me. But then I realized for my behavior, they did the right thing. They themselves told me. So, often when we see that people, as we say, those who are senior to us, we need to seek guidance from them. It comes in our Srimad Bhagavatam. Who are senior to us, we seek guidance from them. Who are equal to us, we make friendship with them. Who are junior to us, we have compassion for them, we help them. Who are innocent, we have empathy for them and we try to guide them. And who are envious, we try to ignore them. So these things we need to follow. So when we know how to behave with each and every other person, that will help us preserve ourselves, and that is good for them also. Because unnecessarily they will engage in those activities, it is difficult for them also. They will put themselves into trouble by such acts, and we will also feel very hurt. But when we, and by doing this, what will happen? We will have a good relationship with ourselves. We can help those who are ready to be helped, as we say. We can help only those who are ready to be helped. So we can, if someone is not in a good state, we can stay at a distance. Fine, you are also part of my family. I know it, but now the state of relationship is not good between you and me, and I can pray from a distance. So in that way, we have compassion for them. In that way, we have gratitude for the Lord, and in this way, we can have a growing, prosperous mindset, materially and spiritually. Yeah. Something else?
Yeah, I was thinking, while you were saying, like, on one side, there's, we should see his family and brothers, but you also said the emphasis that it should be God-centered, Krishna-centered, watering the roots, rather than making all separate endeavors. So if it's really just watering God-centered, naturally it will become more good.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. So maybe we can end here. So thank you everyone. We'll continue this in the next chapter. And now we'll start with a small mantra meditation. So thank you so much. Thank you for Hare Krishna.
What's your name? Giridhari. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.